want to get back to our top story this morning. Amtrak passenger train 188 left the tracks in Philadelphia. It left Union Station here in D.C. Tuesday night just after 7 o'clock. We know that more than 100 people are hurt and 5 are dead. Our team coverage this morning begins with Tom Rousey. He is live on the scene of the crash there in Philadelphia. Tom?
Autrey, daylight has come to northeast Philadelphia here, and the work at the scene continues. That is the scene where the train derailed. In the distance behind me, there are 7 train cars in all left the tracks. Here's video we were able to take much closer to the scene within the last few hours here. You can see just the devastation left behind after those 7 cars, which includes the engine car, somehow left the tracks here in northeast Philadelphia. This happened about 9:30 last night after the train had left Union Station in D.C. around 7:10. It was ultimately headed to New York. Now, right after this train derailed, there was a radio call with the Philadelphia Fire Department, a little bit frantic at times. Here was that radio call.
There's supposed to be a train derailment on an Amtrak train.
Train that has rolled over. Notify Amtrak to shut down the entire northeast corridor. We have a major event here. We have people on the track and a couple of cars overturned.
So you could hear the radio call there with the Philadelphia Fire literally saying shut down the northeast corridor, and the northeast corridor is still partially shut down at this hour. No trains leaving Philadelphia for New York at this point because this entire scene is in the way. Now, as far as the passengers, we know more than 140 were taken to the hospital. We know at last check, which happened overnight, we heard that 6 were in critical condition. As far as the 5 who passed away, we don't know their names at this point. That has not been released publicly, and we also don't know where they were from. The mayor of Philadelphia did say that most of the folks on the train were either from D.C. or the New York, New Jersey area. Most were not from Philadelphia, but we don't know if any of the passengers who passed away were from the D.C. area or not, but definitely at least some of the passengers on the train itself were from the D.C. area because, again, that's where the train originated before leaving the tracks here in northeast Philadelphia. But right now we're going to send it to Jeanette Reyes. She is where the Red Cross has stationed, just about a half mile from here at an elementary school in northeast Philadelphia. Jeanette, what's going on there this morning?
Well, Tom, just a few minutes ago, we actually switched locations here. We're at one of the local hospitals where quite a few of the patients have been transported. Now, we know things are getting a little busy on your end. Here, they've quieted down quite a bit. As you mentioned, 140 people taken to local hospitals of the 230 passengers on board that train. Right now, you're looking at the emergency center of Temple University Hospital, where at last check, 36 passengers from that derailed Amtrak train were transported. 26 people were taken to Aria Hospital, 50 to Torresdale, and the rest taken to several other hospitals in the area. Now, many of us saw those horrific pictures of bloodied passengers, something that is expected with 2 cars turning on their side, as we saw from the images over where Tom Rousey is. Now, hospitals are seeing lacerations, broken bones, contusions, etc., and the rescue efforts have been tremendous. This was considered a 4-alarm emergency by the local fire department. 120 emergency personnel were sent, including firefighters. The crash described as level 3 mass casualties, 5 dead. Now, one thing I mentioned before, which we really should keep in mind, is that this could have been much worse had this not been within city limits. Why is that? The reason why is because the speed of this train, we're told, was moderate. Once it gets outside of the city limits, it does go a lot faster. So we do know that there have been 5 dead, but again, that number could have been much higher considering there were over 230 passengers. Now, really quickly, I spoke with a gentleman here, a medical professional here, and he stepped out of the emergency room, looked tired. He was taking a break, and I asked him, how's everything going? And he said it was just hectic just a few hours ago. It's calmed down quite a bit, but again, they got a few dozen of those passengers here at the emergency center. They were treated, and it looks like things are again calming down quite a bit. But at that crash site, it'll get busier now that the sun is up. That investigation underway. NTSB doing its work, trying to figure out how all of this happened. Of course, we'll be here throughout the morning and keep you posted as soon as we get some new information here. Reporting live, Jeanette Reyes, ABC 7 News.